All right, so this is a video that C-Dome made. C-Dome makes really good videos on YouTube. He did a great video on the roadmap, and we should watch and add our little comments to it. And that way we'll have something up on YouTube and we can direct people there when they have questions about it, right? My thoughts?
Welcome back to the channel. Today is a very exciting day. We got a lot of stuff to cover on the brand new release PUBG 2023 roadmap. And in today's video, I'm going to break down everything that you missed from like the 2-hour dev talk last night. We're up till 4 a.m. watching it, doing some drops, all that kind of good stuff. So let's go over all the need to know things. And then I'm going to break down each individual item and show you guys some footage from the dev talk. All right, let's see how quick I can rapid fire these. New map, codename Neon, new revive system, new map rotations for normal and ranked matches, new underbarrel attachments, destructible environments,
underbarrel attachments,
new game engine, tactical gear slot changes, arcade mode changes and revamps, survivor pass revamps, progressive skins being changed and potentially old skins being added back, new vehicle.
Old skins being added back? Well, like old progressive skins? I don't know. We'll get into it.
Collaboration, think James Bond, new anti-cheat updates, chat GPT, map rotations are 1 week, allow modding to PUBG, and
wait, map rotations to 1 week? So every week they're going to be switching. I don't know, chat GPT, that's AI, right? Modding? Yeah.
And PUBG is tested into Unreal Engine 5. Let's jump in. Now,
let's jump in, baby.
Excited, I don't know what will. So let's go ahead and break down all of the roadmap key highlights, and I'm going to sprinkle in here some of the in-game footage from last night that they showed us of the brand new map and some of the teasers that were in the dev talk. And
show
on the
me,
left side of my screen here, this is just like my kind of notes that I typed up as I was watching the dev talk, and on the right side is actual PUBG's dev talk roadmap that you can read.
All right, so what he's talking about, Chad, is PUBG did a stream. They did a roadmap stream where they went through all these details. So C-Dome took a bunch of notes, and yeah,
on their website as well. And I'll have a link to that down below if you're interested. All right, so starting off with normal matches, everything we discussed right now is only going to apply to normal matches at first. So some of the changes planned.
So only to normal matches. Okay, well, that right away is kind of a bummer for me, because I think that for a game to be super successful, the normal matches should be the same as the ranked matches, which is the same as the competitive scene, right? The esports mode. And the reason why I think that is that's just how it is in every game, really, right? Counter-Strike casuals, then you go to the comp mode. You know, there's some minute differences, right? Like, I think there's no team killing in Counter-Strike casual, but there's friendly fire in the competitive mode and so on and so forth, right? But you know, there's so much that the PUBG normals have that everything else doesn't have, that they either should implement all that into the competitive and ranked mode, or just get rid of it all, right? They need to do that. Because if you look at Apex, the Apex casual mode is the same as the ranked mode, which is the same as the pro scene. So then when a casual gamer can tune into the pro scene and identify with it on a smaller scale, they can identify with it because, hey, that's the same game that I play, right?
Plan to normal matches for 2023 are going to be improvement to the blue zone and phases. So that means that they're going to make the rounds have a shorter runtime by increasing either the movement speed of the blue zone, or what I think they probably mean here is shortening the time delay between each blue zone phase. That way there's not so much dead time in between each phase shift and circle rotation. They're going to be...
Okay, so if they're going to increase the... I think what C-Dome was saying there is the time between when the zone starts to move again. They're going to reduce that so that the zones are going to be moving faster. The only thing that I see with this that is kind of a bummer is they're going to need to fix the speed of the blue zone. They started to tinker with that on Vikendi, because you could actually outrun the blue. I don't have an issue with the blue zone starting to get smaller faster, but sometimes if you're on the far side of the zone and the zone starts to move, you can't outrun it. You either have a car or you're dead, right? So if they're going to start making it so that the zone starts moving faster or closing at a faster, not at a faster rate, but the time between zones is reduced, you should be able to outrun the zone.
Adding new vehicle spawns and item spawns throughout the game, basically making it easier for you to find different weapons and attachments and vehicles that you need to rotate so that you're not doing so much of a loot fest in 2023. They're also going to be changing some of the tactical.
So that's good. The adding more car spawns is a good thing. But like I said, you should be able to outrun the zone, right? So if you're looking at it in very last second, you say, oh my gosh, the zone's here, right? You should be able to just up and immediately start running to the center of the zone and be able to get in. At least that's how I think. I also think that the blue zone should do way more damage. I know we joke about it all the time. Blue zone Bob, I live out in the blue, right? But I'm playing the same game that you guys are. We're all playing the same game. If you can live out in the blue, what's the big deal? I mean, it's silly, right? It is silly, but we're all playing the same game. So, you know, don't hate the player, hate the game. But I do think that the zone should do more damage, but you should also be able to outrun it. But I do like having more car spawns as well.
Gear, and they showcase this, that previously tactical gear, of course, as you know, takes up a primary weapon slot.
Yeah, weapon slot.
That means a lot of people chose to just not even interact with them at all. So
unless you're playing in squads, right? If you're playing in squads, then EMT gear is kind of OP. If you're running in a full 4 stack, why? Your team gets knocked. Oh, I'm just gonna run over there real quick. Here, let me revive you really quick, and then boom, you're back, right? And your whole team can be fighting more, right? Adding an extra slot or something for trinkets would be cool, in my opinion.
They're going to be doing here is, I think, adding a separate tactical slot in your gear pack where there's an individual item slot only for tactical gear. Now,
so he says that he thinks that's what they're going to do. I don't know if there's anything that's like definitive on that. I don't know if, you know, it's confirmed that there is another slot that they're going to do. I hope that's what it is. And I hope it's that you can just find them on the ground and you just pick whatever one up that you want. And then after you have the one that you want, you can swap it out later or whatnot. But I think the third slot is a good idea. I don't know what they have in plan or have in mind. If there's going to be a slot, or do you like select what you want at the start of the game? I have no idea. Like a class? I don't know. Pink Fuzzy Balls, thanks for the Prime. 13, let's go. Thank you.
Of course, if they do that, they're going to have to make some tactical gear balances, because obviously if everyone's running around with EMT gear in their tactical slot, well, that's going to be a little overpowered. So
that's interesting that Cedone brings that up, because would it really be insanely overpowered if everyone has it? Now, maybe they should reduce or not reduce the revive time, but maybe increase it. So instead of it being a 3-second revive from down but not out, make it like 5 or 6 seconds instead. So it's slightly reduced from the 10-second. But this goes into the other thing that I brought up earlier, where all items should be on all maps and all modes, right? So blue chip detector, right? So people are saying EMT is so overpowered. Well, what if the blue chip detector was on every map? You know, but and you know, utilizing a drone or a spotter scope, if it was in a additional slot, might make it interesting, right? Because we think right now that the EMT is so overpowered because it's really one of the only ones to use in place of a weapon. But usually people are only doing it in duos or squads. But if it doesn't take up a weapon slot, what good is an EMT kit if you just killed your enemies, right? So is it really that overpowered? Or would drones, you could use a drone and find out where your enemy is, and what good is the EMT kit if you know where they are? Because you're using a drone or an EMT kit or something like that. So
they didn't detail what kind of changes they're going to make to the tactical gear, but we can assume they're going to nerf them in some way, shape, or form, but allow you to carry them without necessarily having a penalty to your weapon choice.
Okay,
Now,
I like that.
Normal matches is sure to be quite the biggest change for PUBG in 2023, and at least the one that I'm looking the most forward to right now. PUBG has decided to add revive system into the game. Yes, this is separate from the comeback arena that you've seen on Tego and on Vikendi. This is an
big news. Big news. The revive mechanic separate from the comeback arena. Huge news. We've talked a lot about this, and I think it's going to come down to how it's implemented, right? How is it going to be implemented? I'm sure C-Dome's going to cover some of this stuff, but I hope that it's just like the Super People Revive. The wheel's already invented, right? Why make a square wheel when the round wheel is already invented? Please don't make it like an item that you loot off the ground. Please don't make it a revive tower, or that you have to bring a dog tag to a hospital or something. Please don't do that. Why? Because PUBG is slow enough paced that you will, or have like a plane come and redeploy you. Don't do any of that, because PUBG, there will just be people camping, right? People are going to go and camp those spots. And the way that PUBG is, it's going to make it make it just impossible, right? And it's just going to be a spot where people are going to go to farm more kills, and the better players are just going to get more kills and piss off more people. If you make it like the Super People Revive, it would be perfect. Let's see what C-Dome has to say.
Actual revival mechanic for maps that don't have comeback BR. So let's break it down a little bit more.
Wait. Did he just say for maps that don't have comeback BR? Dude. So, holy smokes. Please put comeback BR on all the maps, okay? And then have the revive as well. Have everything across the board the same for all your maps, so that when people drop into every single map, you know what you're getting into. You know what all the trinkets are. You know what all the comeback BRs are, which, you know, is a cool idea, but they need the regular revive system, right? Put all of this in there.
The details that they gave us. Number one, they said that the comeback BR is still going to be technically in the game. So I would assume maps like Tego and Vikendi are still going to have comeback BR, at least initially. Maps that don't have comeback BR, specifically 8x8 maps, are going to have this new revival mode tested. And although they don't say it in this dev letter, they did say it during the dev talk that they would specifically be targeting Erangel first as the first map.
Is it Erangel? 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 What is it? Can we get to the bottom of this already? Okay, I don't know. I like that they're starting it on Erangel. They need to just put it across all maps. They need to put the comeback arenas across all maps. Implement all this so that all the maps have the same type of experience, but it's just a different environment, right? Figs, thanks for the prime.
Map to receive the revival mechanic, and more on the Erangel changes in a minute. So the way they described it is that the revival system would require a teammate's help, a living teammate's help to bring you back into the game.
Yep.
But unfortunately, what I read in here is that they also said it could require a bit of luck from the teammate to get you back. And as they say specifically here, this can be useful for new players who find it difficult to engage in battles in the comeback BR. Also, the new revive system requires luck as well, so players will be able to enjoy normal matches a little more lightly.
Wait, require luck. Oh, I don't want to have a bad feeling about this, chat. I don't want to have a bad feeling about this. Please don't make it something about finding an item. Luck. If your team wins the fight, just let the revive happen. Oh man, this is one of those things where, like, in theory, the revive mechanic could be amazing for this game. It could bring people back. I know people personally, even that I know in real life, that have quit PUBG and have said, you know what? I would consider playing PUBG again, but I don't want to watch my friends play for 30 minutes over and over and over again. I want to actually play the game. So don't make it luck-based, please. Just make it skill-based. Make it so that if you and your team kill the other team, you can just bring your teammates back so that you can all play together.
Kind of makes me a little nervous.
Yes.
Hearing that it requires luck as well.
No.
When I hear luck in PUBG, I hear RNG.
Yes.
And the worst thing that I think that could be done is PUBG adding a revival item of some sorts that's an RNG loot spawn.
Agreed.
You know, basically meaning even though you can be revived in the game technically, you have to get lucky enough that your teammate has the revival item that they found. Now, again, I don't know if that's actually the case, if that's what they're doing here, but when I hear luck, I think of RNG.
Yep.
And when I hear RNG, I think it's unfair. Obviously, I mean, it is unfair. It's luck. So,
well, okay. So to be devil's advocate here, we are talking about battle royales. Okay. So battle royales have a lot of RNG in them, which also is part of the reason why I feel that the battle royale esports scene hasn't taken off and is as huge as something like the Counter-Strike esports scene. I mean, Apex is pretty huge, but I feel like there's a lot less RNG in Apex than there is in PUBG. And it's a lot less punishing. As far as, you know, the time to kill is way higher in Apex than it is in PUBG. The PUBG TTK is so low that makes it really hard battling not only good players, but RNG and trying to compete, right? When people watch esports or sports out there in general, they're watching because they want to see the best of the best compete. They want to see the skills, right? And so that the whole RNG aspect makes it tough because, you know, when somebody does something and something happens, if someone can point the finger and say, oh, well, that happened because of luck, right? Well, that kind of takes away from it, you know? It's like watching professional football or soccer or something, right? Or as the rest of the world calls soccer football, right? When you see the best team win, you're like, wow, that team is just better, right? It wasn't like, oh, they won because they're just super lucky, you know? So I feel like a lot of that plays into it. And sometimes in BRs, and it's not just in the esports scene, it happens even in just normal matches, when people constantly are losing because of RNG or because of luck, it does take away from the game because people feel gypped. They feel gypped because they got hosed by luck. And when there's a lot of aspects of that in a game, like a red zone randomly blowing you up, or I'm super happy to hear later on in this about going to the new Unreal Engine, because if you don't get stuck on things where like you get stuck on rocks and you get screwed, or, you know, another thing is with the circle, right? Where if the zone shifts super far away from you and then there's no cars, but they're going to be working on car spawns, which is good. That takes back from the RNG aspect and makes it more about just awareness of the map, where to find your cars to get in and all that stuff, right? And this doesn't even get into the basics of a BR, which is where the loot spawns. You know, the whole basis of a BR is about RNG. But where I feel that a lot of BRs struggle with getting into esports is how much RNG, right? And one thing that I can say in comparison with, let's say, like a PUBG or an Apex is in PUBG, there's so much luck and RNG in the game that, and with the TTK being so low too, that there are some times where really skilled players just get beat by someone who might not be as skilled because of those types of factors, right? Whether it's the low TTK, they landed a really good shot. Maybe it was a lucky shot, or maybe they found the gun and the other guy didn't, and then they got killed. If you watch Apex, the best players in the game of Apex will never lose to a new player. They will always outplay them because it's skill, right? The skill plays so much more of a factor in Apex than it does in something like PUBG. And so, kind of getting off track here, but the RNG aspect of it is kind of crappy. And to hear that the revive may be based on luck just adds into all that.
Hopefully what I think PUBG does with this revival system is they take the feedback that a lot of the community has been giving them about the super people revive system, using some kind of defib.
Yes,
or there's other elements that they could try as well, but it seems to be the most universally accepted, easy to perceive revive system. You die, you got a timer of like say a minute, or 2 minutes, where your teammate has to come to your body and then do this revival mechanic. Alternatively, they could have something where it's a dog tag and you have to bring it to a revival.
No. No dog tag system. Just do the super people one. Copy it. Take it, right? Take it. Absorb it. Use it to your advantage. It's out there. It's great.
Station, or they could do stuff like that too, of course, but ultimately I'm super excited to hear about a revival system. For me personally, I've been wanting this for so long, especially because I love to play duos and squads, and when you do that, if your teammate dies early in the game, there's a lot of times no real push to keep going in that match. You just quit out, commit suicide, etc. So adding a new revive system would really help the health of the player base in those mid-game phases, because you're not having all kinds of people just die or quit. And also, from a selfish standpoint, for streamers, that's going to be huge, especially if this potentially brings back some of the bigger names in PUBG. And I know if you're just a casual player, you may not really think that's...
Well, the thing is that it would bring back squad gameplay. People always ask, like, why don't streamers play in squads? Why aren't they playing squads with like a full 4-man? That's because streamers would rather play in squads with 2 to 3 people instead of 4, because someone always gets flushed, and you never want to be the person to feel like, oh, I'm playing the game while my friend is dead. And there's nothing wrong with what happened, because flushing is just part of the game, right? But it just helps mitigate that, because you're better off just playing with 3. You could protect 3 people better than 4. I don't know. Mastodon, thanks for the tier 1. Shoe World, thanks for the 23 months tier 1.
It's going to benefit you in any way if big streamers come back. But I've always said that if you have bigger streamers playing your game, say Chaco, Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, etc., if they're playing the game and they're enjoying it, they're going to bring more eyes to the game. More eyes means more players. More players means healthier lobbies, shorter queue times for all of us. So overall,
that's because if people are having fun, or they're coming and watching streams and the streamers are having fun and they're having a good time, well, their audience is all seeing, man, they're having fun. I mean, how many people are here in the community that, like, let's say when we do our customs on Saturdays, right? How many people have said, you know what, I installed PUBG to play in these customs because they're so much fun. I'm having a great time, right? And it's a community thing, right? So if some of these other streamers are coming back to play PUBG and they say, you know what, I'm having a great time. Well, if they're having a great time, the people that are watching them are going to be like, man, I want to have a great time too, just like them. Doom on you, thanks for the Prime for 5 months. So Cito makes a really good point. I mean, that it's going to be a big thing if it's done properly. If the revive is done properly, it will allow for people to have more fun. And it's not just for streamers. I mean, I use that example because I've experienced it firsthand. where, you know, your friend dies and then we just have to back out. And sometimes you get into constantly backing out into lobbies. Well, that's how a lot of people that even that they don't stream, you know, they're calling up their buddies, right? It's halfway through the workday and they're like, or texting them, right? And they're like, man, what are we doing later? What are we playing? And people will say, oh man, let's play some PUBG tonight. And it's like, yeah, let's play some PUBG. And then you get home after working your 9 to 5 and you boot up PUBG and you find yourself dying on the drops and just sitting and waiting, watching your friends. And then eventually they're just like, yeah, I'm done playing this game. Let's go play Counter-Strike where I'm alive every single round. And if I die, just, you know, just comes back around. You know what I mean? And I get to play again. So this is huge. It's a big thing that could bring a lot of players back if done properly. ShoeWorld, thanks for a gifted sub, man.
It could be a big net benefit if PUBG really nails down this revival system. So hopefully we'll learn more specifics about the revival system soon. And lastly, for normal matches, we're going to be seeing a change to the map rotation plan. And this is actually going to be pretty big, I think. The map rotation for normal matches are going to include 2 staple maps, Erangel and Sandhawk. Those maps will never change.
No!
They'll never leave.
No! Why Sandhawk? It should be Erangel and Miramar, man. 2 staple maps. Sandhawk is a staple map. I might be talking a lot through this chat. I'm gonna butter up my lips. Oh my goodness. You know, before he gets into how they're gonna do this rotation, I'm just telling you, chat, that I feel, this is my personal opinion, I feel that PUBG should just, in regions that require a map rotation because we don't have map select, they should just have all the maps in the queue at all times. And by having all the maps in the queue at all times, it will allow people to get certain maps, right? But what they need to do is allow like a canceling out of maps that you don't want. And everyone gets a certain amount of them. Kind of like in Counter-Strike, if you go to play Counter-Strike in the competitive mode, you can X out of certain maps and you can say, yeah, we don't want this map, we don't want this map, and we don't want this map. So let's say they have 6 maps in the pool, allow 4 cancels. You might wait longer in the queue, but every single map you get is one that you want. And this solves all the problems. But I don't know. Okay, so CDOM says there's gonna be 2 staple maps, Erangel and Sandhawk. So there's already one map that I'll be backing out of. But we'll see. We'll see what the other plan is.
Rotation. But the other maps, Miramar, Tego, Destin, Vikendi, Haramo, and Karakin are all going to be maps that are cycled through the rotation. And PUBG's plan right now is to have 5 total maps. So you're always going to have Erangel and Sandhawk. And 3 of those other maps are going to be cycled through. But they're trying something new here. They said they're going to try to rotate the maps every week to 2 weeks. In my opinion, they'll probably do it, you know, during the server downtime maintenance, which usually happens like every Tuesday.
No, that's what we're doing right now because the server maintenance brought the servers down. Stop bringing the servers down, damn it.
Or Wednesday. And so potentially you could be seeing a new pack of maps cycled in every 1 to 2 weeks, which could be actually very, very good. The selfish part of me is a little unhappy to see that Sandhawk is one of the staple maps because I know it's a very popular map for Asia. And I know people in North America and EU enjoy it too, but it's not the most popular map in our region. So I do hope that they dial in the region specific.
Okay, that'd be good.
So that
good idea
for like North America, for instance, players love Erangel. Players have been really loving Destin and Vikendi. I feel like one of those maps should probably be the staple map.
Hold on, let's pipe down a little bit on Vikendi, all right? Vikendi was cool until they added bears and thermal scopes and Tego style drops and all of that stuff.
And then the other ones can be in the rotation. So just my thought. Let me know what you guys think down below about the map rotations. Now, speaking of map rotations, they are going to be changed for ranked as well. So let's go ahead and get into some of the rank changes. So for ranked, you're going to have the new thing is all 8x8 maps will be into the ranked playlist.
which is cool.
As opposed to them just having Erangel, Miramar, and Tego, now you're eventually going to see Destin be added to the ranked playlist, and Vikendi being added to the ranked playlist,
so,
and the potential new map that we'll get to in just a minute.
So, oh, potential new map. Oh my gosh. I'm excited to hear about that. Now, this also plays into what we were kind of talking about earlier. So ranked mode has different maps from normal mode and all that jazz. Well, why even have the other maps then? You know? Just leave it all 8x8 then, and then just have the ranked mode have all the maps from the normal mode, and you just have 8x8s. I don't know. You know, there's so many different modes, and then people, you know, want to play Sanhok, but it's a 4x4. It's not in ranked because it's a 4x4 map. It's would never be in comp. It would never be in ranked. Like, there's so many things that are different, and they don't transfer from normal all the way to the comp scene, and it's just kind of a bummer. But he mentioned a new map. They're working on another new map. It better be an 8x8, and then start getting these 4x4s out of here.
However, for ranked mode, they're not going to have them all at once. They're going to do a rotation-based system, kind of like they do in normals, but they didn't outline what that rotation system is going to be, if it's going to be a weekly, a bi-weekly, a monthly, so they didn't exactly say that yet. In addition to the ranked map changes, they're also going to be adding some items to ranked mode that previously were not allowed in ranked mode. The blue zone grenade, the foldable shield, the emergency pickup, that's the big duffel bag that you put on the ground and the plane comes and picks up you and your squad. Those are all going to be added into ranked mode. Self AED and revival system will not be added to ranked mode. They're going to be improving the ranked rewards. No details given exactly on how they're going to do that. And all the changes that they apply to ranked mode now are going to port over to the esports scene as well. That's
okay. So this is good when they're going to be making the esports scene just like ranked, which is good. But what I'm saying now is you need to also do that with the normal. They should all be the same. So that when people that are just casuals, when they go to watch the esports mode and they go to watch the pros play, they can relate on a smaller level, on a smaller scale, because, you know, it's what you're doing every day. You go into play, and then when you go to watch the pros, you can say, hey, I'm doing that. And then you can get some tips, because people will say like, oh my gosh, did you see what that guy did? Well, I'm going to do that in my games. You know, like that's just how some of that works, but
some pretty big implications, because now teams that are playing for, you know, hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in esports mode are going to have the same exact rule set and play styles that you will have in your ranked mode. So they're trying to bridge that gap a bit more, which I think is a good thing.
Yep.
Oh, and sorry, I missed this detail. They did say for ranked map rotations, Erangel and Miramar Tego are fixed, but they're going to have only 4 total maps every 2 months. So every season they'll change the ranked map playlist. So you'll have Erangel, Miramar, Tego, and they'll probably add in, say, Destin for one of the seasons.
Vikendi, yeah.
They take out Destin, put Vikendi in for one of the seasons.
And then the new
that's
map.
how ranked's going to work. 4 maps total,
Oh.
rotated every 2 months, which is the length of one season. It's like season 23, season 24, etc. Now on to gunplay and mechanics changes. Now recently they made some pretty big changes with the 5.56 and 7.62 balances. They did the M16 and the mutant change up to try.
Okay, are they going to talk about fixing the AUG now, that everybody just uses the AUG because it's so overpowered, right? They nerfed the M4 into oblivion, and then the AUG is overpowered.
To get some non-meta weapons more used. They made the nerf to the M4, but brought the AUG to world spawn and added a really dominant 5.56 FAMAS to the crates. All of that was an effort to shake up the meta and kind of even out the balance between player pickup counts for 5.56 and 7.62 weaponry. The notion is that they're going to continue to do those types of changes throughout 2023, but they didn't give specific updates or inputs as to how they're going to address future.
So I hope if they're going to be doing something like this, that they're going to be looking at things like the limb multiplier on SMGs, right? Get the limb multiplier out of here. Quit promoting bad aim. You know, I understand they want to make SMGs more viable, but increase the damage closer range, but don't benefit people from shooting arms and legs. You know, reward headshots. That's how first person shooter gaming is, right? That's how it should be. Sure, the SMG can have less recoil and do more damage close range because the damage over time is higher close range because it's shooting faster, right? But reward headshots. Get rid of the limb multiplier. And then when it comes to shotguns, right? Make it so you have to ADS with a shotgun. I mean, everyone knows I'm guilty. I love using the pump, right? We got pump day, hump day here. I mean, geez. But the shotguns are broken. You can hip fire shotguns and kill people. So they should be able to make it so that you have to ADS or aim down your sight with using a shotgun and stop people from having to dodge running, jumping, pumping shotgun players, right? I mean, I'm guilty of using it too, but that's just the way the game is right now. So you want to do balancing, right? Let's start there.
Plans or even future ideas that they have. One thing that they did mention right now for attachments in gunplay was the addition of underbarrel attachments. So they specifically showed an M203.
Is that a noob tube? Is that a friggin' noob tube right there? That's what we need, Chad. That's what we need. Give me a thermal scope and a noob tube, baby. All right. Here we go. Let's add sharks to the water around the island. So if you're swimming around, you just get gobbled up.
Grenade launcher underbarrel. I think it was on like an M16 or something like that. I'll have some footage to show you guys. And so you can assume that they're testing out underbarrel grenade launchers, maybe an underbarrel shotgun attachment, those kind of things. It's pretty cool because
an underbarrel shotgun. So like, imagine, Chad, you're running around with your M16 or your M4, right? And you got an attachment underneath it that's going to launch noob tube nades. You're also going to be able to launch smokes. You're going to be able to push in. And when you unload all of your ammo from your gun, switch to a shotgun and then just blast them. Oh my gosh.
Force you to make a decision of putting an underbarrel attachment, and that would, negate the use of a grip. You would not be able to put a grip on that weapon anymore. So you're going to sacrifice some weapon control for the added utility of maybe, a smoke grenade launcher, a flashbang launcher. Maybe they even add high explosive grenades to the underbarrel attachment. Please. And you could see how that would be very, very powerful.
I think very, very powerful is an understatement, Cito. Imagine, right? You're like, oh, I see some guys over there, and you're peeking them from a room, right? And here you are, you're like, oh yeah, I see him over there. And then all of a sudden a nade just gets shot right into your window.
Now, one thing I did want to point out about the underbarrel attachments is that there is always a bit of a language barrier, translation problem when, going from Korea to here to North America, to English rather. So what they said here is, I'll read it specifically. Additionally, we are conducting R&D, so research and development, for underbarrel attachments and resistance to add new mechanisms, and plan to add weapons that can induce interesting gameplay. So the weird part is this one here, and resistance to add new mechanisms.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know if they're talking about they're trying to overcome their resistance to add new things that shake up the game. I'm assuming that's kind of what that sentence is supposed to mean, but that's kind of up for interpretation.
Okay. So now, I understand that. So what CDOM is saying is, are they meaning that they're trying to stop implementing new features? That might be a little disappointing, right? We might not get sharks in the water, right? since they put the bears in, we might not get sharks, we might not get nukes. Okay, but if that means that they're not going to be adding new things and trying to fix what's currently in the game, I think that's an extremely huge positive.
Into a little more detail, saying, this will allow players to make strategic choices with the weapons that they have not used often. So they're thinking of ways to get you to pick up non-meta weapons, to use things that are kind of, very niche use cases. So I like the idea of that. I like having things that give you some extra choice, player choice, and also allow you to approach the same scenario in multiple different ways. You can push a compound in multiple ways depending on what weapons you chose to load out with for that game. So I like the idea and the sound of that. All right, next up is the new map and old map changes for 2023. So they teased very quickly a brand new map codename Neon, and I'll show you guys some images on screen here.
Oh, that was Tego.
The places that they teased look actually really beautiful, very, very cool environments. And I believe in the dev talk, they actually said that this was kind of modeled after one of the most unique places or unique cities on Earth. My brain immediately went to Tokyo, codename Neon, and they talk about having the map will feature multiple areas ranging from a modern city full of gleaming skyscrapers to a more traditional rural area that creates a unique atmosphere that hasn't yet been seen in PUBG. In my mind, that is kind of like Tokyo, how on one end you can be in this like hustle and bustle neon city, and on the other end you can go to these like quaint mountains and like just really cool rural areas. And so
has Sidon been to Tokyo? I've never been to Tokyo. I almost got to go to Japan, and then I quit my job. But Destin has ripped in and some of these other city areas. I really like the city areas. I wish there were more floors, to be honest with you. I think it'd be kind of crazy to have buildings where there's like 10 floors that you could be in. I think that would be nuts. I mean, there'd be a lot of campers, right? But I don't know. How big would the city be in the map, right? Like, would you have your island, right? The 8x8, which ends up being like a 6x6 actual island because the water's all around the edge. And maybe like 3/4 of it is a giant city in the center, and only the outsides are not a part of the city. I think that'd be kind of crazy. I don't know. I want a theory craft. I want to sit and think about all the cool things I could put in the game, but it's really kind of hard because of all the other items that we just already talked about that should be getting fixed first, right? It's like once some of that starts getting fixed, and then we start talking about, hype's coming back to the game. People are having more fun with the game the way it is, right? Then a new map comes out, then there's some hype, right? I mean, a new map isn't going to bring a bunch of new hype if people aren't having fun playing the game that as it exists, right? The reason why people aren't having fun is not because the maps are boring or that the maps are really bad, right? Some people may not like certain maps, but overall, I would say the general experience as why people don't want to play the game isn't necessarily 100% the maps. Does it contribute? I think it definitely contributes a little bit, but I don't think it's the main reason.
So that's kind of what these pictures lend to showcase to us, which would be really cool. And this does kind of connect well with the city rumor.
Where's the city? I see trees and a flat field with a big boulder on the side. Where's the city? Where's the skyscraper? I don't see it. This was the secret picture of the reveal. Well, we know unlike Destin, there's going to be flare guns in it because there's the BDSM. It's right there.
Or leak that there is a skyscraper map being developed for PUBG. This was an unconfirmed leak or rumor I saw floating around on Twitter, but that would make sense because they're talking about in the dev letter gleaming skyscrapers, and then in that leak a skyscraper type map. So this would mesh really well that this is an accurate representation of what they're going for. They go on to say exploring the map is going to be very exciting with multiple ways to transport ground, air, and water. They're working on a new gameplay system for Neon that might become a new way of obtaining items, which could change the dynamics of how the game is played. When I hear that sentence, I think and I hope for some kind of workbench, some kind of crafting system inside.
A crafting system? Oh my gosh, that's like that honestly scares the crap out of me. Because now you're adding something to the game that you don't know how it's going to impact what's existing, right? A crafting system? Oh man. To me, that adds another level of RNG. Or, well, maybe not RNG because you can... That's something that you can go and say, hey, I want this, so I'm going to go make that. But part of the BR is that you have to find the items that you need, right? Or get them off the bodies that you killed or whatever. But this all scares me because I'm sure what's going to happen is they're going to implement this only on Neon, right? They're not going to put it on all the maps. And so how does it work or across? It's almost like they use their new maps to test their new stuff when if we just had a test server, right? If we just had a test server, we could test some of these things before putting them in.
The game. I know a lot of people are hesitant to hear that because they think that's a little too like Tarkov-y, crafting in the game. But I love the idea of making unique weapons and unique experiences based on your own play style, and having a way to change that in game seems really cool. And they said, of course, they're going to have new weapons, new vehicles, dynamic.
Okay, so think of this though. Okay, a crafting system. And Cedom brought up a point to say, play the game a certain way that you like to play it, right? Imagine if the crafting bench, you couldn't like craft items that are in the game, but maybe you can modify them, right? To where like maybe you go to a crafting bench and you're like, all right, I really want to play with this particular gun, like a DP, right? But you're like, man, it bounces too much horizontally for me. Maybe you can tweak it to where it'll reduce the horizontal recoil. And then all you have to do is just pull down. I don't know. That's more of like a modifying weapons than crafting things out of thin air, or they, like, because then how do you do the crafting? Are you going to go around and gather other items? You're going to have to, it already takes forever to go and get all your gear, get all of your nades and your utility. And then you got to go to a crafting bench after gathering other material that's going to take spots of weapon spawns. I don't know, man. There's already a bunch of things that are on the ground in Vikendi and stuff that already take up precious, valuable loot that you need on a drop, right? When you drop in and you're trying to get to and fight somebody, what's your favorite thing? I'll tell you what my favorite thing is. I drop in and I'm like, man, there's like 10 guys around me. I'm going to fight them. I drop in, I find a folded shield, I find a bicycle, and I find an EMT kit. What does the other guy find? He finds M4 pump shotgun, 2 helm, 2 vest, and then he just puts me in the bin. Tuna Fish, thanks for the Prime for 7 months. So, to me, what they should do is, instead of doing a crafting station, right? Maybe take the bicycles and put the bicycles in bike racks around buildings so that they don't spawn with the loot. And if you really want a bicycle, you can just go get one. Or add lockers that you can go to. And that's where the armor repair kit and the helmet repair kits are found. That's where the folded shields could be stored or things like that, to where they don't take up the spot of the normal loot. So that when you drop in, you know, you don't end up like me, finding mountain bike armor repair kit for the armor that I didn't find and a drone. And I just get murdered.
Weather and other cool visuals on that map. No concrete evidence to showcase for that yet, but we'll keep you updated. Now, in addition to the brand new maps, they're going to be making some map revamps, what they call sub updates. These updates right now are only geared for Erangel and Miramar, and they're going to be tackling Miramar first with the southern island of Miramar. And they showcased a few images, which we'll put up on screen here. And they actually look really cool. They look very refreshing, very neat areas and interesting places to explore. But ultimately, I don't think the South Island of Miramar doesn't get visited because of the areas. I think it doesn't get visited because it's not very tactical to land out there because, you know,
Whoa! It's not tactical to land out there? Chat. Someone's got to talk to C-Dome, man. Well, actually, no. Don't go to the islands on Miramar, okay? It's really bad. It's really bad to go to the islands, all right? Don't go there. You'll find nothing there, chat. The prison and Los Hijos and those places, it's horrible, chat. It's so bad down there that you would never want to drop there ever, okay?
Frequently to the
stay away
in there, and there's only like what 2 bridges to escape from over there, and if you don't get a boat or something, you're kind
of in definitely no gliders there. So nothing's there.
The changes
it's bad.
They make to the southern island also add different gameplay elements that allow you to get out or get into that island.
Hold on a second. They just showed why when they say they're updating certain spots, they're showing the mansion. Do not touch my mansion, PUBG. You hear me? You stay away from my spot. You stay away from my drop. You get the hell out of there. Okay? Unless you want to buy it from me and you know how much a mansion costs. So baby.
Different gameplay elements that allow you to get out or get into that island. Now, they did state the changes for Miramar are probably not going to be happen until the second half of the year. And for Erangel, they didn't give any big details about the changes that they're going to be making.
But they just showed mansion. Come on, man.
It's going to be similar to the Miramar refresh. Well, they'll change up, you know, some of the maybe areas of the map that don't get a lot of love. Maybe somewhere near Quarry, maybe up top in Zarki, you know, places that players don't typically land at heavily.
Please don't mess up Erangel. Please.
Some additions there. All right, moving on to the other modes in PUBG. So as you know, there's the tutorial mode, there's normal mode, there's ranked mode, and then there's other, which is basically the arcade mode. And the arcade mode has only had team deathmatch for the longest time. Now they're finally talking about bringing in some of the most liked PUBG Labs modes into the ranked mode, into the arcade mode playlist. So those are going to include the Intense Battle Royale. They showcase a little UI, which I'll put up on here.
Okay, if they put the Intense Battle Royale in and allow a FPP mode, that'd be cool.
Fantasy Royale, which is one of my favorites, and I think it's called Arena mode, the one that was basically like Counter-Strike, but in PUBG, you know, where you had to bank up points each round and then use those points to buy a weapon for the next round, which was a really fun mode. They're actually talking about like legitimately adding those into the arcade mode.
Okay, obviously, what about the mode where if you hold the ball, the zone follows you? What about that one? That one was a fun one. You kill the guy who has the ball and then the zone just keeps following them. That was a fun one. You're bringing the action to you and everyone can see who has the ball. That was a fun one.
The first time they said something like that. So we'll see how long that takes to come to fruition, but that could be really, really cool. All right, speaking of really, really cool, this next part is going to be
the Monster Chicken Royale. Did you see that down here? The monster, do you remember that thing on Haven? Oh my gosh, please leave that one out.
Some of the biggest news in PUBG for 2023. Now, whether or not
the modding
stuff gets implemented is still yet to be seen. These are just in the talking phase, but listen to this. PUBG is currently testing out and attempting to port one of their
Okay.
maps to a new engine version.
Okay.
i.e., PUBG has actually tested out adding one of their maps into the Unreal 5 engine. Let that sink in. This could be huge for PUBG. This is something the community has been, crying for literally so long. Now, this doesn't mean a PUBG 2.0. In fact, in the dev talk, the question was asked, and he said specifically, this doesn't mean that it's going to be a 2.0.
Okay. So it's not going to be a PUBG 2.0, but I mean, they're testing it, right? So they didn't confirm and say, oh yeah, we're going to the new Unreal 5 engine. What they're saying is they're testing it. So all we can really do is just knock on wood and hope that it can, pour it over, and that it won't be massive, a massive overhaul, huge undertaking, right? I would assume if they could do it, they shouldn't piecemeal it, personally. I think they say right now that, it won't be PUBG 2, but look at what's happening with Counter-Strike right now. Counter-Strike 2, right? Everyone's hyped. Yeah, they made some tweaks to the smoke grenades and stuff, and you can see your legs, and there's a lot of new features to it, but at the core foundation of Counter-Strike 2 is basically Counter-Strike Go in the new engine, and because putting in the new engine, they're able to do other things. So if it's possible to port over a map or to allow the game to play on Unreal 5, then just do it all and then release it as PUBG 2.
We don't know what it means. We're still testing. We're still trying things out. So this isn't to say they're changing PUBG into this new engine. This isn't to say that they're, working on a second PUBG. This is just them openly saying, hey, look, we're trying out new things. We want to use this new engine if it's possible. So we basically ported over one of our existing maps into this engine and doing some tests to check it out. And that actually lines up really closely to what player IGN tweeted out 2 months ago, actually. I found the old tweet in January. He said PUBG and Unreal Engine 5.1 looks beautiful. He was given some thoughts on whatever features or map that he had seen. So I think this is something they've been doing for a while, the Unreal Engine 5 testing. And that's very exciting as a player, because I would love nothing more than for PUBG to be updated with a brand new engine. I think that would be
huge.
A fresh life into the game. And they go on to say, please bear in mind that this is not yet decided whether this transition will even be possible. However, we will do our best to give it a try. More details coming. Another big bombshell. We have also been researching world modding.
Yes.
Where players will have the ability to create and share their own unique game modes and environments.
Huge. This chat is huge. We were talking about this earlier, and I'm just saying, if there's people out there who have the skills, you take PUBG as it exists, they're allowing modding. Someone out there with skills way more than I have is going to be able to take PUBG and implement the things that we all are talking about and make a custom mode, and then everyone's going to want to play it. People will find that mode and play it. It's going to be like Warcraft 3, when people would log into Warcraft 3 to play the Dota custom game, where people would go play Footman Frenzy or whatever it was. And guess what? Dota started out as the Warcraft 3 custom mode, and look where it is now. I don't know why they haven't had this, but hearing this is like music to my ears. This is one of the most exciting things to hear about this entire broadcast.
Again, this is currently just a plan, but if everything works out, this may become a very unique way to enjoy PUBG. It's really ironic that they said this in the dev letter, because literally just yesterday on the podcast that I posted with me and Blitz5, that's the Dome Show podcast, by the way, if you guys don't know, I'll link it top or down
Dome
below
Show
on YouTube, Spotify, all that kind of good stuff. I talk about one of the saving graces that could be for PUBG is if they added modding support. There is something very, very unique and fun and engaging about players being able to create their own experiences and then share those experiences with all of the other players. So if that does,
how are they going to do that?
That could be a fantastic.
Is it going to be like custom games
and really again add some life into the game? And on top of that, they've also been testing out destructible environments in PUBG and even in the current model of PUBG. So this isn't specific to the new engine. This is actually now PUBG. And if you remember, Karakin was the first map that they actually had destructible environments.
With the black zones.
C4 walls you could blow out. And they had the sheetrock walls you could shoot through or blow up. And they had the big rockets that come down that would actually totally destroy the building altogether and create a new building, a new environment to work around.
Who's been killed by a black zone?
To cover and whatnot. So they're testing more of that now. And they specifically talked about, and they specifically gave an example of, what if you were in an open field type scenario and you needed some kind of cover quickly? Well, what if you threw a grenade down or an explosive down and created a mini crater, a hole
cool
that you could drop in for cover? They tested.
That is cool. Throwing a grenade into an open field and making like a little dip. Wow. Imagine that. That's actually pretty cool. Because now, you know, you're talking, oh, we're in a wide open field. Hopefully we have a bunch of smokes. Well, if you don't have any smokes, if you have a grenade, boom. There you go.
Or are testing stuff like that where you can interact with the environment with different explosives. And I'm assuming they're probably talking about buildings as well, blowing certain holes into walls to make it maybe easier to approach a compound.
Can you do that in Rainbow Six Siege? Blast out walls
if you're kind of boxed into one area. So that could be really, really cool, really unique. And you know, if you ever
maybe with the crafting system, you could craft a shovel, right? And get over there and start hucking out dirt, baby. Woo! I'm crafting a shovel, baby.
Played a game with the destructible environments, like Battlefield was a big one that I've always loved. It's super fun and engaging and unique to have a destructible environment that you're in, because no engagement can ever be the same. Because if you come across an enemy with the right kind of explosive, they blow a hole in your wall for cover. You know, you're used to holding one particular angle of staircases, and now you've got multiple attack vectors that they could be pushing to you from. So really, really cool way to shake it up. All right, now the next few things are going to be out of game adjustments, so not in game, you know, mechanics or maps or nothing like that. So I'll kind of go through these pretty quickly here. They talked about changes to the progressive skin. So what that means is
wait. Changes to the progressive skins, making them affordable.
Updates to the current progressive skins, changing the way some of them look and changing the way some of the attachments look. They've also talked about bringing old progressive skins back. They did not say or address any part about the gambling, scamminess, contraband creation. You can see them check out part of it. So they just talked about revamping the skins, changing the way the reward.
So it's still going to be just as expensive. Don't worry about that. But
system works and bringing old skins back. So nothing great to give you there, except obviously you're bringing the old skins back. But again, if it takes
wait, hold on. What did he say here? Hold on. Let's go back a little.
Check out part of it. So they just talked about revamping the skins, changing the way the reward system works, and bringing old skins back. So nothing great to give you there, except obviously you're bringing the old skins back. But again, if it takes $1,000 to get the old skins, are you really that excited for it? You know, I don't know. Critical see them. They talked about mastery updates and
I guess I'd miss it. Yeah. Oh well.
And workshop changes and in-game reward changes. No details, but just that they're going to keep evolving that type of system. Which for the workshop, that's great news, because the workshop has been one of the best things that PUBG has done out of game in the past few years.
But
adding a way that you can get old and unique skins by paying for them or just by playing the game and earning BP.
But you can't get any of the old skins that, like, you know, I don't know about you guys, chat, but when I first started playing, I was kind of really focused on getting better at the game, right? I wasn't focused on how I looked in the game. I was just having fun playing it and I didn't care so much about the skins, but I missed out on a ton of good skins, man. I missed out on like the Shroud AK and Chaco's parachute and the barrel skin and, you know, all that stuff. I don't have any of those skins. I have none of them. Halley skins, break skins, everybody's skins. I have none of them, but they're gone. And I heard, like, you know, when they went on sale, they were only on sale for like a few weeks and they're gone. So it's like those people who are coming to the game now have no chance to get those skins. And even in the workshop mode, you can't get the skins. They make you pay money for the keys and you open the stuff up and then you can't even get the old skins. Like, if there was an incentive there to where like, hey, buy these keys and open these crates, you could get these old skins. Now, I don't know, it's probably complicated because those skins are related to certain streamers and, you know, I'm sure they were compensated for these skins. So there should be some way to, you know, put numbers to all that. But come on, man.
Has been really, really rewarding for players. So definitely like that. They teased a new collaboration with Aston Martin. So like they just did with McLaren for the coupe, it looks like they're going to do the same exact thing, but this time with Aston Martin. I think it was like a DB12 or something like that.
Pay off your credit cards, chat. And use my creator code, HollywoodBob Live. Nate the Snake, thanks for the Prime for 16 months.
I'll show a little image of that here. And it's another convertible roadster, which, you know, part of me is happy to see a new collaboration because I think the McLaren collaboration was cool and it still is cool to have it in the game. But it's kind of odd that they would choose another two-seater convertible to do a collaboration with, especially when we had that Jeep teaser a couple months ago. And, you know, there's all kinds of other vehicles in the game that they can do collaborations for. So it just seems odd they would choose the RB Coupe as the vehicle to do another collaboration with, you know? I don't know. So we'll
I agree.
They also talked about added clan system to PUBG. So if you're a fan of the channel and you want to join.
Before he tells his clan, chat, the Bud clan is gonna be official, baby. The clan system, right? That's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. You better believe the Bud clan is gonna be coming. And I don't know how they're going to implement it, whether like the tag's going to be at the front of your name, like when you see the pros and when they're playing and stuff, and then your name's after it. I don't really know how it's going to work, but it's going to be super cool, right? We're going to get, we should set a goal, chat. We should set a goal to be the largest clan in PUBG. Do you think we can do it? I think we can do it. The largest clan in PUBG. All right, now let's hear what C-Dome's clan is going to be.
Clan Dome, we're going to be adding that. Stay grouchy. Survivor Pass changes. They talked about two different.
You know what, C-Dome? Hey, this is the challenge, man. The Bud clan versus the Dome clan. Huh?
Changes spread out throughout the year, but they didn't say exactly what they were going to be. They just simply said changing the reward structure of the Survivor Pass and changing the.
Big idea, chat. Huge idea. All right. Remember, I said it here first. All right. PUBG. What about setting up clan wars in PUBG, huh? Right? You get two clans and then you schedule it, right? And then you can have like a 50 versus 50 platoon battle in an island, a clan war, and you can challenge other clans. Or do like a 10 clan battle where there's like 10 clans and they have 10 people in a clan. And so it's a 100-person drop, right? 100-person drop and have like a huge clan battle. Oh man.
To complete the Survivor Pass, basically trying to make sure that more players can complete the Survivor Pass before the time runs out, which is good. Talked about a lot of anti-cheat changes. Obviously they couldn't go into very much specifics with anti-cheat because if they do give away too many specifics, then the cheat developers can, you know, kind of use that to their advantage. So a couple of things that they said,
I agree.
They detected more unauthorized programs with their software Zakynthos. Then they've updated the report system that allows you to report cheating players better, more accurately. And they did mention hardware bans, and they said that the changes that they made from 2021 to 2022, they saw an increase in 304% hardware bans. So 304% more players were banned in 2022, hardware bans permanently versus 2021.
But wait a second. It's free to play, right? I mean, hardware bans, you know. I mean, there's a way around everything, right? But with free to play, right, you would expect bans to go way up because it's free to play. More people piling into a game, you know. To be honest, chat, I'm just shocked to hear that there's cheaters in this game. I can't believe it. You're meaning to tell me that people are cheating in PUBG? A 6-year-old game, chat? You think people are hacking? What the heck?
So whatever changes they're making are working, but obviously you can imagine the cheat developers are working just as hard. So that'll be an ongoing battle. And then lastly, they mentioned the use of machine learning, which is going to better help detect, cheats, hardware bans, that kind of thing. So think of like, Chat GPT, AI, that kind of stuff.
Machine learning. So how about machine learning? How about allowing the bots to learn so that they get better, so that they're not walking around like this the whole time? Or just get rid of the bots. How about that?
That's a wrap for the PUBG 2023
Great.
roadmap and the Dev Talk recap. If you guys did enjoy it, of course, leave a thumbs up, share this video with your buddy, and get subscribed for more PUBG content. Let me know down in the comments below, what are you thinking about the update? We got a bunch of different stuff they talked about. Unfortunately, they didn't detail or iron out exactly when we can expect a lot of these changes. My assumption would be we should be seeing some of these changes as soon as next month in April, because April's going to start season 23. So that's going to be a new season pass, and it would be a great opportunity or a great time for them to drop one of the changes they talked about. I mean, again, to kind of recap, you got the new neon map revive system. I want to see that first and foremost.
Modding,
map rotations,
rotations,
1 to 2 weeks. Under barrel attachments, destructible
noob tubes,
a new engine that they were testing for PUBG,
Unreal 5,
tactical gear slot.
That's changes, right, baby. EMTs,
survivor pack
chicken
changes,
killers,
progressive skins, anti
more money,
mod,
empty out your bank account.
Thing for PUBG. I mean, there's a lot to digest out of the roadmap. So hope you guys found this video fun.
Yes, we did,
and encouraging as PUBG
right, chat?
Players as we continue. To play the game we all love in 2023. So thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video or the next live stream on YouTube or on Twitch. Links in the description. All right, take care, guys. Peace.
Hey, good video. All right, I like that. C-Dome's a good guy. Chat, here is the video. Here's C-Dome's YouTube info. I mean, I'm going to make this into a YouTube video. The link to his video is going to be down in the description for C-Dome. And like the video. You know what? I forgot to do that live on Tig's video, but yeah. Give C-Dome a like. Go over, check it out if that's what you want to watch. C-Dome's a good guy. Show him some love, chat.